Well, the Wheel of Time have given us a brand new look at the show with a 36-second clip, which is all based around the costume design and the sets that they have built for the world. Now, there's a lot going on within these 30 odd seconds, and so what I'm going to be doing in this video is breaking down the top 5 things you might have missed throughout this clip. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, number 1. The confirmation of Green's Women's Circle initiation. Thanks to yesterday's behind the scenes reel that was released, we now have a much more clear understanding of just what was happening within this scene with Green in the pool that we first saw in that teaser trailer over a month ago. At the time, there was a little bit of doubt whether this was a Aes Sedai sort of test going on that Green was undertaking, or whether it was in fact a Women's Circle initiation test. Now, at the time, I said that I am 100% sure it was a Women's Circle test, and thanks to yesterday's reel, we now have confirmation of that actually being the case. Now, as for the shot in question, a lot can be taken from it. To begin with, we can actually tell that this particular shot we're seeing right now takes place before the one we saw in the teaser trailer, because as you can see, the pool that Green is in currently does not have all those colours that we saw to begin with in the teaser. Now, the second thing to note is there are in fact, I believe, 13 or 14 women in total from the Women's Circle there, which includes Green in the pool. But not only that, the women directly around the pool are holding vases, which include Nynaeve, who is to the right of the shot. Now, obviously, we know what is inside each of these vases. It's the colours that we saw from that first teaser trailer shot. And so we now know they pour the colours into the pool, and Green then will dunk herself or lower herself into the pool and come up, and then we get that shot of her with those beautiful colours that are, over her dress and face. But not only that, there's also something else that we could potentially be seeing at play, and that is in fact this sort of ceremony is something that harkens back to the old days of when Manetheren was around. And as we know, back then Manetheren had very strong ties to Tar Valon and the Aes Sedai. So maybe this is a sort of ritual that they had from, Manetheren times, and they've somehow managed to keep that, tradition and ceremony, continuously going throughout the ages. And so maybe this is our first kind of foreshadowing of the Aes Sedai for the show, in terms of new viewers seeing what the Aes Sedai are kind of generally like. Maybe that's a bit of a long reach that I've got here, but you never know. But then moving away from that, I just want to talk about the actual environment itself. I actually really love it because there are these pockets of natural light thanks to the holes in the cave. I'm pretty sure that was a design choice from the designers to do, so they have natural light to work with, as well as all the cameras and filming equipment that they can use to artificially change the lighting that they want to achieve. Number 2, Nars Entrance in the L4 farmhouse. Now, this is a scene we've all been hoping and praying for would be included, and we now look to have got complete and final confirmation on that. There was a very, how can I say this, quick glimpse in the Shadowspawn teaser trailer of what everybody thinks and is pretty much certain to be Narg. And now with yesterday's behind the scenes reel, there was a very quick 1 second blink and you'll miss it moment where we all can see that there's a door being smashed in, and then we see a Trolloc very, very briefly walking through the door, and then we have and then still within that scene we see the behind of Tam. Now, I'm going to play these two clips together because I think they're from the same scene. So to begin with, I'm going to play the 1 second that we got from yesterday's behind the scenes reel, and then I'm going to play the Shadowspawn portion because I think they're together. So as you can see, we get the door breaking down, and then we get in the Shadowspawn teaser trailer a different view of that, and it's like a much more front-on view of Narg breaking down the door, and that's another second as well. The only thing that I think may separate these two scenes or shots from one another is the Shadowspawn one. He's coming in from another part of the house, and in the behind the scenes one from Monday, there's a bit more lighting at play, so he might be coming from outside into the house. But I'm still more on the fence of they're both the same shot, so we'll have to see. Number 3, Shadar Lugoth in the daytime. Now the scene I'm talking about is of course Rand on top of the building, and we have the statue down below. Now if I'm not mistaken, this statue is in fact the same one we got in the promotional stills of Lan and Moraine from Entertainment Weekly, if I'm not mistaken. Hi everyone, so there's something I have to just state. Upon having a closer look at the two images, it may not be exactly the two same statues. They may be similar, but they're not. But I still firmly believe this is a scene from Shadar Lugoth set in the day. I feel we haven't seen any other sort of environments that have these sort of statues or the same kind of architecture that I can remember. So I'm still pretty certain that it is in fact Shadar Lugoth in the day. And now we've got a much nicer look and clearer look at the statue, because obviously they're shooting a few scenes from Shadar Lugoth during the day night. Now I thought this was a very nice touch. I'm quite happy they are filming at least portions of that 15 minutes that we're going to be getting in Shadar Lugoth during the daytime. I didn't necessarily want there to be just a nighttime passage, so I'm happy that there is in fact some sort of daylight that we will, be able to see the city in a much greater light, because, if it's in the dark, it's going to be very difficult for us to make out all the details and designs that have gone into these sets that they've built purposely for the show. And as we've all mentioned before, and loads of content creators have, the attention to detail has not been spared. I mean, just look at the statue, for example, and then the just the rest of the scene in general. You can just see all the little details and intricacies of the patterns on the buildings as well, And so yeah, I'm happy with that as well. Number 4, Lan's new outfit. But perhaps much more importantly, is this our first look at the warder's quarters. Now, I would like to call this his ceremonial outfit, just off the top of my head. I cannot remember off the top of my head, while I'm talking about the scene, that the warders, when they're in Tar Valon, they have like a change of outfit, or what I like to call a ceremonial sort of gear, or a less combative outfit. He seems to be in a leisurely sort of outfit, as he's now in a place of fortitude and respite, and there will be no such moments of fighting needing to be had. And so he's obviously come out of his, I suppose, traditional warder gear that he would be venturing out in. So that was a nice thing to notice from this clip as well. But once again, we have to talk about the set, and in particular because of the reasons I stated in my thinking, or in my belief, that it may possibly be that we are in fact seeing, our first glimpse of the warder's quarters within the White Tower. Now, there's a few reasons why I say that, and I'm sure you can see quite exactly why I would say that. It's because there's statues of men in there. Now, I don't particularly understand, if I'm thinking logically, why there would be statues of men in the White Tower unless you're near to the warder's quarters, if not in them. And you could just think about the fact these might be, legendary warders, or warders of high esteem within the ranks of the Aes Sedai that did great things over the years, perhaps from the past, and to commemorate them, they've had their statues commissioned and built, and they've been placed in the warders' quarters. So that's my thinking behind why I believe it could be the warders' quarters, because I can't imagine for 1 second, unless you're in the Green Adgers section of the White Tower, that there would be any male statues. It just doesn't seem like a fit that I would feel would be what I would be seeing in the White Tower. Now, if it was in the Adgers sections, I would of course expect Eris Sedai statues, and that's the main reason why I believe that it is in fact just potentially the warders' quarters. But yeah, there you go, guys. That's the video. I'm a little bit behind on everything that I was trying to get out, so hopefully I'll have the GQ magazine interview out later today, and if not, then perhaps it's because we might have gotten a new trailer. I'm kind of skeptical and half hoping for one. You never know. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.